Good evening, everyone. How are you? So happy you're here. Today, we're going to be talking on breast health and specifically about prevention. Now, I know there are a lot of very smart scientists that are working for cures for different cancers, and that's not my job. My job is to help you to stay healthy and to try to avoid as many health problems as you possibly can, and to do that using natural products and economical products. So our slogan, if you will, is get green and save more green. Get green and save more green. Why? Because you're going to get green, eliminating all sorts of toxins and things from your house and from your personal care products. And then you're going to make more green because really in two different ways. If you're saving money, you're able to spend it on other things. And then if you're sharing with others, you can also make a little bit of extra money. So let me roll right over and share my screen with you. I've got a lot to talk about today. We are talking about breast health today with an emphasis on prevention. I hope everybody can see the screen now. There we go. What we love about prevention is that it's kind of a twofold model. It's one of those things where we are looking at what's going on in our lives, and we are also looking at what's going on in the world and helping us to see what are the opportunities that we have to really be as healthy as possible. So when I think about breast health, I want to think about a couple of different things. Number one is, what am I doing or not doing what am I doing that I should continue? And what am I not doing that I just need to start? So, and then I guess the third thing is there anything that I'm doing that I need to stop, right? So continue, start, and stop. So those are our three bywords for today. I want to make sure that we can show everybody just a little bit of what's going on and why we at dōTERRA feel like, you know what, we're here to help. That's our most important thing. So let's talk a little bit about where the ideas come from. Most of the ideas are coming from Essential Oils Healthcare for Today, a beginner's guide. And I hope you're going to notice they've got a brand new format. And the reason we have a brand new format is that we're relaunching. We're relaunching with a brand new website, brand new format, and I think some brand new ideas that are going to help you. Today's presentation is kind of the kickoff. So that idea of get green, make more green, and be more green. That's our new slogan, if you will. And we haven't gone down deeply, I think, enough on that road. Many of you on this call are women, and gentlemen, no disrespect here, but many of you listening to these calls are women. And I want to make sure that you clearly understand what are the financial impacts of getting to a point where you're using mostly natural products. How much you're saving perhaps on not having to go to the doctor so much. How much are you saving on substituting lower cost essential oils, pennies per drop, with more expensive products? And you can see that dōTERRA is clearly listening. So we always talk about 90-day plans here because that's the most important thing for us. We know that the body changes and renews itself over a 90-day period. And really that hasn't changed. I don't think that it ever will. So let's talk, number one, about risk factors. So risk factors for breast cancer include things that you cannot change, right? Being female, that is a risk factor, folks. I'm sorry to say. Increasing age, well, none of us are getting any younger. So yes, that is a factor. A personal history of breast conditions. So if you yourself had some breast conditions and you are still battling those, whatever they might have been, those are things that you want to continue to be conscious of. A personal history of breast cancer. And of course, this is a big one. If you've had breast cancer in the past, you want to make sure that you're monitoring that on a regular basis and following your doctor's recommendations, whatever they may be. The other thing that we have to think about are inherited genes, right? Now, genes are important, but I will tell you, and we've known this for a long time, genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. And we know more and more that many of the genes that we thought before were just, an automatic slam dunk. We've seen in studies again and again that even with identical twins that have the same gene pool, one twin may manifest the disease and the other might not. Why is that? lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. So those are the top ones you can't really change. They are what they are. They come with the territory, ladies. But let's talk about 3 that you can control. Number 1 is radiation exposure. So how do we control radiation? Number 1 on the hit parade is limiting the amount of X-rays that we get. We're constantly bombarded by doctors and medical professionals who say, I think you need an X-ray, maybe you need an X-ray. Is it okay to have your teeth X-rayed perhaps only once a year, especially if you're not having any problems? It probably is wise to begin to think about things like different procedures that you're going to have, different things that you're going to do that are going to require radiation. So make sure that your radiation exposure is as low as possible. Of course, we want to make sure that we are not staying in front of, I don't know, nuclear power plants and just, waiting for the radiation to flood over us. Although they say that the places right around nuclear power plants are safer than anywhere else. Who knows? But we want to make sure that we in our own lives are making sure that radiation exposure is something that we're reducing as much as possible. Next thing, obesity. This is a big one, folks. In the United States, over 30% of our population is obese, and worldwide, that number is really about the same, and it is growing. That's a number that's really dependent upon our eating habits. So it has nothing to do with any outside sources or something that's happening to us or a spaceship landing. Our weight is really under our control. And the last thing that's under our control, which is a big risk factor for breast cancer, and most people don't want to talk about it, is alcohol consumption. Now, if you're a person who has been in your house for a long time during COVID, and maybe you've been taking a few extra sips of wine. I've got my coffee here this morning. You can see in my cup here. Yep, there we go. I think you can see. Don't have gin in there. I have plain old black coffee. But I think we want to make sure that alcohol consumption is under control. Now, we know for a fact that many people are under stress because they've been living in closed quarters under strict limitations for almost 2 years now. And some of us may have been turning to alternative substances. Now is the time to really get that under control and pull up on the brake and say, you know what? I'm not going to allow this to get out of control. I'm going to seek help as much as I can. And if I can't do this on my own, I'm going to try to find sources that can help me. So those are the 3 that we can control: radiation exposure, obesity, and alcohol consumption. So just be mindful as we're talking about these, that there are things that you can control. Some of the, so we know, right? There's things we can and things we can't. So let's talk a little bit about things that we're seeing in the latest research. And I think this is an important one. So this looks a little bit crazy, but it's really not. So if you've had a chance to read books like The China Study or How Not to Die by Michael Greger, you'll know that the American Institute for Cancer Research has made 3 major recommendations in the fight against all cancer risks. So this is all, not just breast, right? All cancer risk. And those are 3 things. And they're seen here on the screen. And this is a screenshot. I wanted you to know that this is a video that's available to you. And I'm going to post the video in the chat. So number 1 is be as lean as possible within the range of normal body weights. Now, I clearly understand, depending on your age and where you are in your life trajectory, that being super lean may be very difficult for you. But can we reduce our body weight by even 5% if we're overweight, or by 5 pounds, or even 10 pounds? I'm on a journey right now, and I'm probably older than a lot of you. It may not look it, but I am. And the idea that, yes, as we age, we really have to lean down. We don't want to be saying, well, I'm 50 now, I can eat whatever I want, or I'm 60 now, or I'm 70 now, I can eat whatever I want, because those risk factors really do begin to pile up as we go from maybe overweight over to obese. When I talk about overweight versus obese, I'm talking about a BMI that's over 30. So if your BMI is over 30, that's considered in the obese category. The other thing that the AICR is talking about is eat foods of mostly plant origin. So really increasing our plant consumption. It's interesting because many of the studies that have been done lately about plant-based diets are showing that some people eat no more than about a half a cup, which is about 100 milliliters of cooked vegetables every day, and maybe no fruit at all. Fruit has kind of gotten a bad rap because we've had a big movement towards the keto. The keto people are saying, no fruit at all. But I'm here to tell you that fruit in moderation, especially eaten in the morning, can give you some wonderful phytonutrients and some of those macronutrients that are hard to find anywhere else. The last thing the AICR is talking about is limiting alcoholic drinks. And you can see here that the breast cancer risk was reduced by 60% in women who met at least 5 recommendations compared with those who ate none. And I'm going to tell you all of the risk factors in a moment, but I wanted to give you the top 3 and also tell you, give you the link to this video. It's a 4-minute video. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Don't watch it now, but you can watch it a little bit later. Further analyses also showed that individual recommendations, at least associated with reduced risk, suggested that reduction is due to many different factors, right? We want to be able to reduce our risks overall. So let's take a look at all of those risks. So the AICR recommendations are as follows. And there are 10 recommendations. I don't know if you can see this. Feel free to take a screenshot because this is good information and then you're going to need it. We've also got I'm going to send you the link to this if you don't want to take a screenshot so you can find it yourself. These are food facts right from the AICR, which is super, super helpful, I think. Number 1 is be at a healthy weight. Be physically active, eat a diet rich in whole grains, vegetables, fruits, and beans. Limit consumption of red and processed meat. And if you know that the World Health Organization classified processed meats, and that includes everything from sausages to salamis, hot dogs, sliced deli meats, they were actually classified as, oh my goodness, stage 1 carcinogens. So not a good thing to be including in our diet. Doesn't mean it's like being exposed to uranium, but over time, very toxic to the body. You want to limit your consumption of sugar sweetened drinks. Limit consumption of fast foods and other processed foods high in fat, starches, or sugars. Limit alcohol. For mothers, breastfeed your baby if you can. After a cancer diagnosis, follow the recommendations if you can, and do not use supplements for cancer prevention in general. When you see something and it says, this will prevent cancer, it's probably just a big load of hooey. So eat right, take your LLV, take the supplements that you need to take, and we're going to give you some more recommendations in a minute, but these are from the American Institute for Cancer Research. And I hope this gives you a little bit more direction. In case you were feeling nervous, don't feel nervous. Really, it's under your control. Take control of your life, especially if you have some of those other risk factors. So number 1 on the hit parade for me is you want to green your home. You want to green your home because you're going to basically protect your breasts by greening your home. You're going to protect your whole body, but ladies, especially, and men really, because there is an incidence of breast cancer in men. It is much smaller, of course, but it does exist. You're going to be able to protect your whole body, but especially your breast, which is what we're talking about today. So I think you've seen this diagram before. I've used it in the past, talking about estrogen and xenoestrogens. Why is this important? We basically have estrogen receptors throughout our body, and they are like little spokes on a wheel. So if you see each one of these, that little cup right there, that sort of brown on the left-hand side, if you have a healthy estrogen, the purple cup will fit right into the little brown, the purple ball fits right into the little brown cup. And then you've got a perfect match. And that's really what the body is calling for. We're calling for to fill up our estrogen receptors with natural estrogens, not artificial ones, right? Natural estrogens. So estrogen here is bounding to the receptor to send messages to the cell, and it's firing on all cylinders. The body gets the estrogen that's natural, it fires appropriately, and we get our job done, right? Now, instead of getting signals from natural products or natural foods and plant foods specifically, we're getting these signals from these toxic goods, whether they're cleaning products or hair care products or personal care products, whatever they are, they can contain toxic estrogens, and hormone disruptors. So what do we get instead of a natural estrogen? We get something called a xenoestrogen. So instead of the little bluish purple ball sitting in the cup, a red one goes in there. It looks like an estrogen. It may even fill the little cup like an estrogen will, but it's going to send a signal to the body to make it do things that we don't want it to do. So when the xenoestrogen binds to the estrogen receptor and sends out unintended signals. Now, if you're exposed to one thing, so if, let's say, for example, you go to a gas station and you open up your window and you breathe in gasoline, gasoline absolutely has xenoestrogen in it. In general, you want to close your window when you get to the petrol station so you're not breathing that in. And I know you have to shut off your engine, but for a few minutes, you can kind of close the vents and not let all that fake estrogens come into your body and into your car, right? The other thing is when you take off, leave your windows open for a minute to let all of that out. When you get into a hot car, if you have many cars have synthetics in them, including the carpets, the dashboard, sometimes the seats, all of those things are plastic. When they get hot, they release chemicals into the air. We're in a closed space. Again, open your windows, allow those things to escape. Now, what about natural products? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the idea is if we're filling our estrogen receptors with natural estrogens, once they're filled, once the estrogen receptors are filled, the body will reject, right, the xenoestrogens. It'll basically say, no, not, I don't want, I have no room left. And the body will basically excrete all of those unnatural things. In the meantime, avoid. So let's talk about 100% natural. Number one on the hit parade are any sort of personal care products. You can see the grouping on the left from our spa line. Anything in that grouping is going to be terrific for you to protect your health because you're going to be using it all over your body, right? When we talk about the body wash or the scrubs or any of the things, you're going to be using it on maybe the entire body. You want to cover your body with something that's natural. Then we talk about natural cleaning products, of course. The entire On Guard line, wonderful for the body. No toxic chemicals there. Wonderful to use and include in your daily routine as you clean. And of course, essential oils. And we're going to talk a lot more about specific essential oils and how we can support ourselves. The other thing we want to think about is the Abōde line. The Abōde line is our newest safe alternative. It includes these wonderful products that you can be using when we think about our plates or we think about our laundry, really diving a little bit more deeply, right? I'm asking you folks to think to yourselves, okay, what is the cost to my health for using inexpensive, unpure products? And when I think about that, I really put down anything that's not natural. Now, in general, I've been using natural products in my house for years and years. I would be hard pressed to think if I have something. Probably the dishwasher pods, the dishwasher detergent was the last one, but I have to admit I was using a different brand, but now I'm going to be using dōTERRA brand. But the products in my house now have been completely changed over, and that took time, but I think the payback in terms of our health has been great in this house. And I want to encourage you, if you're a parent, if you're an auntie or a grandparent, even if you're a friend, encourage your friends to do the same. Maybe ask your friend, hey, could I help you to do an audit of some of your products in your house? I'll sometimes trade with friends in that way. They'll offer to do something for me and I'll say, you know what, I'll take a look at your products and I'll let you know. Or I'll take a look at their oils. What's their oil stash? And let's see, what have they got and what do they need? So when we think about oil products, specifically when we're talking about breast health, you've seen this particular graphic. I've had it going on for a couple of years. I prepared it with my dear friend Carrie many years ago, but I have to tell you, it still stands, right? Immortelle, one of the best ways to protect your breasts. What I'd love for you to do is purchase a single Immortelle in the month of October and use it for the next 30 days, using up the entire roll-on within the 30 days. It contains great things like frankincense and sandalwood and lavender and myrrh and helichrysum and rose, all of which studies have shown to support breast health. So you want to include one of these roll-ons in your next LRP to make sure that you're getting that protection. So what are you going to do? You're going to apply the Immortelle roll-on on your breasts, on your chest area, and maybe even under your arms. If it's a little bit strong for you, absolutely dilute it with fractionated coconut oil, but use it. You're only going to be doing this 2 times a year. I know it's an investment, but that's okay. It's an investment in you and in your health, and also in your family. Your family doesn't want to lose you. They love you and they want you to be, and your friends too. And even me, I don't want to feel like I lost anybody on my watch because I didn't give them the information that they needed, right? I want to pass on the information. You're going to use the Immortelle roll-on now in October and then 6 months later. So twice a year, you're going to do this as a preventative. But let's talk about some other products that you can be including in your routine. Who here has done this Immortelle protocol, or who continues to do it? If you have, let me know in the chat. I'd love to know. I know this is not a new one for you, but it's something that I feel like has to go in the Hall of Fame, which is why I have it framed here, like on the wall, so you can all take a look at it. The other thing that we have to take a look at is our sleep patterns, right? Sleep, and we talk about natural. So she does this twice a year. Thanks for letting us know. When we talk about sleep, we're talking about stress and anxious feelings, restlessness, tension, and mood swings. We can use Lavender Peace for skincare, muscle tension, calms our fears, and nervous tensions. For those of you in the US, this is our Serenity, but the majority of the people on the call tonight are in Southeast Asia, where this is the name of the product. It is our Restful Blend. Why is that important? Because tension really can eat us up from the inside. We want to make sure that in general, we are resting comfortably. 2 nights ago, and I would suggest to you that you use the Lavender Peace, whether you're using it straight as an essential oil, diluted, or the capsules. Any way is a great way to use that. And we want to emphasize that with all the products that we're going to show you. If it's available, use it in as many formats that are available to you in your market. Of course, if you are in a GAC market, you can purchase anything from the United States and have it shipped to you. But it's a wonderful way to really kind of challenge the body to accept different sorts of modalities, right? Whether it's internal, topical, or aromatic. Talk about Lavender Peace. Want to make sure that we're sleeping well. Sleep is one of the main ways that we refresh the body and we rejuvenate our cells. So if you're not sleeping well, if you haven't been sleeping well for a long time, consider using a product to help you to get there every night. 2 nights ago, I was feeling a little bit tense. I don't know why. And before I got into bed, I said, you know what, let me get up and just take a Serenity capsule. And I did. I took a Serenity capsule and a Copaiba capsule, and I slept like a baby. Yesterday, I was actually fooling around with this presentation, not getting it right. It was actually kind of on my mind a lot. And even when I got up this morning, there was still an error in it, which I had to quickly, which is why I was late. Just that idea that sometimes we have something on our mind that's not letting us sleep soundly. It could be a presentation. It could be, I don't know, anything troubling or worrisome. Want to make sure that we're sleeping. Next thing in the hit parade, when we talk about estrogens, we want to talk about these particular phytoestrogens. Now, we know that the dōTERRA women's line includes the calcium supplement and also the Claricalm, both of which I love, but I wanted to focus on the phytoestrogens because I feel like sometimes people either ignore this one or say, yeah, I don't need it, or it's not as important. I'm here to tell you that it is important and it's a wonderful supplement. I take it every single solitary day and I really love it. And I love what it's doing to support my body. So as we know, almost every function in our body is controlled by hormones. Estrogen and progesterone are particularly important hormones for women, and they're going to influence a woman's good health and emotional well-being throughout her lifetime. So high estrogen production in younger women especially can result in significant issues related to menstruation, and the production of too little estrogen in women as they age can impact many aspects of a woman's productive health and can be a contributing factor to health challenges that some women experience, of course, after menopause. So when I think about this product, I'm thinking particularly about young women in childbearing age, even if they're not mothers already, or even if they're not considering becoming mothers right away. I'm talking about women in maybe their young 20s through perhaps 35 or so. But I'm also thinking a little bit about women in their older years, 45 to 65 or beyond. And can they use this product, and would it be helpful for them? So those are my two target age ranges, although I would say from about 25 to 75, you're probably really good to be using this product. Swan B says the phytoestrogen is an awesome supplement. And Jenilyn says, it sounds good. Sally says, myself and hubby have been having sleepless nights, but have been using diffuser with essential oil, and it really helps us to relax. And now we sleep like babies. Okay, that's terrific. I love to hear things like that, because sleep is our way of rejuvenating our body. If we're not sleeping, or we're not sleeping on a long-term basis, once in a while, we all have occasional sleeplessness. It happens. But if you're having sleepless nights quite a bit, you want to really look into it and try to look into solutions for those sleepless nights. So what can phytoestrogen do for you? It can provide supplemental dietary phytoestrogens that help balance and support normal hormone levels. They provide nutritional support for managing estrogen metabolism. They can be used to basically complement a good eating program especially if you're having during your menstruating years uncomfortable symptoms of PMS and the transition through menopause. So that's why I would be using it for anyone who's over the age of 40, that transition from perimenopause to full menopause. You can be supporting your body with the phytoestrogens. It supports healthy bones, heart and breast tissue, and other body structures, and functions as a woman age, and includes a soy extract, which is standardized, which is 50% genistein and 50% isoflavonoids. So if you're interested in learning more about that, all of this, or most of it, is on the dōTERRA website. What's in it? What does it do? But I have to say, for me, 2 capsules a day. I usually wind up taking it in the afternoon, because I take a whole bunch of other stuff in the morning, and I feel like I don't want to jam everything in the morning and not take it in the afternoon. But I don't know if that's necessary. If you're a morning pill taker and you'd rather take it in the morning, I think that's fine too. It does also contain a flax seed extract. So if you're not in general a flax seed eater, and I will tell you, if you are a flax seed eater, man, that's hard to say. Make sure that they are ground. Our body cannot digest whole flax seeds. So if you bought some whole flax seeds and you've got them sitting in your refrigerator, and you do want to refrigerator freeze them, because they do have a very short shelf life and they can become rancid very easily. When you go to use them, stick them in a coffee grinder or other sort of chopper that you may have, to make sure that they're chopped up so that they can be digested. I actually buy ground flax seeds at my natural grocery store. They're about the same price as the regular ones, and I sprinkle them on everything. Very frequently eat a bowl of oatmeal or other whole grains in the morning with some berries, and my flax seeds on top. Maybe I'll put a little bit of nuts on there, and I don't know, switch it up. But that's my typical breakfast that includes those flax seeds. Well, your flax seeds are in this too, but if you want to add them into your diet, absolutely go ahead. The flaxseed extract here is standardized to 40% lignans, which is helpful in managing estrogen metabolism. And it also includes a pomegranate extract, which provides powerful antioxidant support. So I've got a couple people popping in the chat. Shnazi says, can breastfeeding mothers consume this? I would make sure you're checking this with your, if you are a breastfeeding mother, make sure you're checking with your doctor, your obstetrician, but I would probably say yes. But you know how your hormones are fluctuating post-pregnancy. You want to make sure that you're taking the right thing at the right time, especially if you're taking a pre or postnatal vitamin. So check with your doctor. The other thing, Sally says to tell us that very soon she'll be looking younger, and she's looking forward to that. This is what we ladies are looking for. Yes. She says also that she blends flax seeds with her fruit juice. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. I have a high-powered blender. If you have a high-powered blender, you can absolutely do that. But if you've got, it's so funny, my mom has a mini blender that's about this size, and it literally does nothing. It makes a lot of noise, but it doesn't blend anything. I mean, it's the type of thing where you should just throw it out because it just whirs around and nothing gets chopped up. So if you have one of those old kinds or one of these mini ones and it's not a great chopper, make sure you're using the powdered type of flaxseed because it won't chop up those flax seeds for you. Ping says, is 100 the max for this Zoom? I have people trying to get in. Yes, it is the max. Oh, we're at 100 participants. Ping, please let them know that after this week, we're going to be increasing the amount of people that can get in. And we're also going to be, this is going to be recorded, of course, and be on YouTube, either later today or first thing tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. So let's keep going. I love the phytoestrogen. Anybody else taking it? Let me know in the chat. I really want to hear. Next on the hit parade of my favorite products to support women in their breast health is Whisper. So we know that Whisper Touch is what we have available now. Whisper contains some really interesting ingredients, folks, which I didn't even know about. And the top ingredients, if you will, are rose, Hawaiian sandalwood, and bergamot, all of which are wonderful for breast health and mimic very closely what we see in Immortelle, right? But some of the other things are really kind of interesting. Things like ylang-ylang, patchouli, vanilla, cool, right? That we finally have available on its own. Jasmine, terrific for breastfeeding women and for women that are pregnant. Cinnamon bark, labdanum leaf, vetiver, cocoa seed, and with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil. So if you are in the habit of using your Whisper, I know some of you still have your 5 milliliter bottles left. So crack out one, use a few drops, really use it as a support for your body. You can use it to kind of clean out your space. If you have a diffuser, you can put it in your diffuser and use it on a daily basis. Use it as a pure fume, instead of using a chemically laden synthetic substance. Use it to scent your body, to scent your home. You really will feel the difference. Mary Ellen says she uses the phytoestrogen daily and have done so for years. Me too, Mary Ellen. I love that product. And I have to say, whenever I'm out of it, I start thinking, oh my goodness. Here's the other thing. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this. When I was going through perimenopause, when I was in my, say, early 40s, I was nervous all the time, just tense, anxious, any little thing. I was like this, so incredibly jumpy. And what I found was the phytoestrogen helped me to calm down. And so now I've been taking it for so long. Now, all of you who know me know that I am not super calm in general, but I'm not a nervous wreck. I'm spunky, right? But I'm not a super anxious person and I don't worry about things. A lot of times I just kind of let it go, right? But I think that the phytoestrogen is something that's has helped me in the past and continues to help me now. Let's keep going. Siberian fir. How many of you have Siberian fir? How many of you are using? I love the fact that Siberian fir is perfect for this season. We're going into the holiday season. We're going to want our houses to smell more like that outdoorsy, woodsy, wintry, even if it's hot where you live. You want that kind of ho-ho-ho smell, and you can do that with Siberian fir. It is wonderful for muscle and joint support, bone support, gut and organ health, skin support, cellular support, but we're most concerned about its immune boosting properties. One of the things that I love about Siberian fir, which many people I think have forgotten, is that it can be used all 3 ways. Yes, 3 ways. So it can be used aromatically, topically, and internally. So use your Siberian fir, include it in your routine, diffuse. If you want that scent of the tree, add it to your holiday piece once you get a bottle, or just start blending it with your Douglas fir and use it in your space. Ratnawati says, you said that managing fatness is important, right? How about for people who are underweight? So you want to be within the normal range, calculating your BMI. That's your body mass index. So your body mass index looks at your height and your weight and determines if you are within the weight range for body mass index. If you're way under, you're below the lowest, and the lowest I think is about 18. So it's hard to be, I know that there are people that are in that category, but it's hard to be in that low category. Then maybe they want to talk to their doctor about how it's affecting them and if it's affecting their health, because obviously we want to be within normal body weight range. That's a great question. Rainey says that Siberian Firs brings her into the woods. And Ting says, I love Siberian Fir. Izan says, is it okay to take LLV, phytoestrogen, PB Assist, Terrazyme, Deep Blue Complex at the same time? It is. I just break mine up sometimes, morning and afternoon. But if you're a person who is okay getting up in the morning, like you've seen me, right, with this big water thing every day. I fill this with water. This is just under a liter, I want to say. Yeah, it's 600 milliliters. So I usually drink that whole thing once through first thing in the morning with whatever my morning supplements are. Then I'll serve myself usually a cup of black coffee, and then I'll have my breakfast. So I'm getting some fluids right away. I'm getting coffee to give me a little bit of a pick me up, and I'm taking all of those supplements in the morning. Doesn't mean that I'm not taking things in night, but I am taking things in the morning. For newbies, what do you recommend? Okay, that's a great thing. So I always want everybody to start, I don't know if slowly is the right word, but at the pace at which they will feel comfortable. So when you talk to a newbie, if they're super nervous or they're jumping in with both feet. If they're jumping in with both feet, let them jump. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen to them. Make sure that they understand to drink lots of water, obviously, when they're taking a lot of capsules like that all at once. But if they're not feeling anything, if they're feeling anxious or they're taking their time or whatever, let them take their time and let them kind of lead up to it. It's all good. You're going to help them to feel more comfortable with the products, more comfortable with you, and you're going to get them to that next level. These are such great questions. Thank you, everyone. Best to consume, as I said, I take mine in the morning. I take mine in the afternoon, but most of that has to do with the fact that I'm taking a whole bunch of other stuff in the morning, and I want to break up. I want my body to really absorb what I'm taking, and that's why I break, just like we break up LLV, folks, right? We do morning and afternoon. Why do we do that? So we get the best absorption. You could take everything all at once if you wanted, but you wouldn't quite absorb it the way you want to. Betty says she usually diffuses Siberian Fir with wild orange and lime for a happy mood. Betty, have you tried the new Tulsi? You have to try the new Tulsi basil with the wild orange or the lime. It is amazing. If there's anybody on here who's tried it, let me know. Tulsi with wild orange, it just fills the room in about an instant and smells so happy. Caitlin says Siberian Fir is great for respiratory health. Replace it in a hospital gas inhaler. That's interesting. Caitlin, are you a nurse? If you are, let us know. It's good for kids growing up too. I mix with Digest Zen with Siberian Fir. Cool. Sally says, now I want a Siberian Fir. And Shanazi says, yes, my kids love it when I diffuse Siberian Fir. Sally says, I'm a jumping newbie on my 2 feet with dōTERRA. Cool. That was me. When I got in, I was like, give it all to me. I want it all and I want it right away. So anybody who was a jumping with 2 feet, let me know in the chat. If you were more like, take it easy, gonna take it easy, that's okay too. So tell me, take it easy or jump in with 2 feet. Jenilyn says, gonna try this, Tulsi and wild orange. I mean, I'm telling you, it is really, really good. And then Betty says, we'll give that a trial. Time to put some blends together. Yes, time to put some blends together is right. I gotta type in, oops. Okay. Mary Ellen says, jumped in with 2 feet. Mary Ellen, I know that about you. You are like, you're a superstar, really. I'm so glad you're on here. It's so good to see you in the mornings. Last chat, and then I'm going to keep going because we got a couple more products that we want to show you. Nazareth says, just got the women's health kit this month. Can't wait to try them out. Angelina says, take it easy with only essential oils that improve my sleep. Okay, Angelina. And Angelina, I know that you were one of our winners last week. You don't have your products yet, but they went out on Friday. So I'm hoping that when you get those 2 new oils, you're going to want to jump in with those 2 right away. So let's talk about our next product on the hit parade. Super, super important, our Copaiba. I cannot emphasize to you enough how important Copaiba is. It is like a 1-2 punch. It is the backbone, the foundation of so many blends, and you want to make sure that you're using your Copaiba with other things. It is an amplifier. It is a support product. It is very much like frankincense, but at half the price. You want to use your Copaiba in your blends. You want to take it with other things. I frequently will combine Copaiba with something else. So if I'm taking my Tri-Ease, I'll also take Copaiba. If I'm taking my Serenity caps, I'll take my Copaiba. On Guard capsules, I'll take a Copaiba. I want really that 1-2 punch of getting as much bang for my buck as I possibly can. I take Copaiba soft gels every single day. Who's with me? Linda says, I took Copaiba soft gels with LLV. Yes. Do it. It is really a magnificent product. I don't know. Off. Can you hear me now? Telling me, Linda. Can you hear me now? Yes, give me a thumbs up. Yes, you can hear me. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Okay. So I was basically saying that Copaiba is a wonderful thing to blend into your daily routine because it has basically no scent and no taste. It's not like water, of course, but it's very, very mild. So if you're adding it into other concoctions, whether it's a diffuser blend or you're putting it in a capsule, you really will just feel like it has a little bit of oomph, but it's not going to change the way you are putting together your blends. Let's see, what does it say? Angeline says she takes Copaiba, On Guard, and frankincense in a vegan capsule twice a day. I actually take frankincense and grapefruit under my tongue every day, and that is my cellular protection. As I've mentioned to you many times on this chat, I had heard Dr. Hill saying that he does that every day, and so I feel like if he does it, I can too. Let's go to our very last product that I want to recommend when we're talking about breast health, specifically prevention, is our grapefruit. And this is the one that I mentioned before. I'm taking every single day under my tongue. Now, you could take other citrus oils under your tongue if you really hate the taste of grapefruit, but you want to get the product that has the highest amount of limonene. Grapefruit is that product. If grapefruit's not for you, though, there are plenty of other citrus oil, lemon, lime, tangerine, and on that you could be using as a substitute for grapefruit. But the message is make sure that you're taking at least one of the products with limonene on a daily basis. Ratna says, how much dōTERRA supplements and EOs can be taken per day? We always want to think about your supplements. You're going to look on your packages. And so you can mix and match supplements based on your own needs. When we're talking about essential oils, especially for internal use, we're talking about 24 drops in 24 hours. But that does not include what you're going to put in your diffuser. So you can go over that. There's a, Linda says, grapefruit, pink pepper, and frankincense blend roller for my breast health daily should progress to oral intake. And we're going to talk about that in 1 minute. So I have a little visual for you so you can see some of the things that I'm taking. So grapefruit oil is extracted from the rind of the grapefruit plant, not from the fruit. So if you have some concerns about whether or not you should be taking it, make sure if you're talking to your doctor, you're taking other sorts of medications that don't usually combine well with grapefruit, make sure that he understands that it's from the peel and not from the fruit. It is terrific for beating inflammation, weight gain, sugar cravings, and even hangover symptoms. Thankfully, I haven't had any of those lately. It's also considered a natural stress fighter, anti-inflammatory agent, antioxidant, and anti-carcinogenic agent. So those, I don't know, can't say more about grapefruit. I know some people don't love the taste. If you don't like putting it under your tongue, take it in a capsule. It really is a wonderful way for you to get your grapefruit into your diet. You can use it, of course, for things like disinfecting surfaces or cleansing the body. It's great, like all of the citrus oils, for reducing tension, stimulating the immune system, decreases fluid retention. So you could apply it on those, what I call the jiggly bits, wherever you want to make sure the fluid is going down. Also, if you are a big salt eater, you can use your grapefruit to reduce fluid retention. It works to curb sugar cravings. We know that it is part of the Slim and Sassy blend. And it's high in antioxidants and phytochemicals that reduce oxidative stress and disease-causing inflammation. Many of grapefruit essential oils benefits are due to its main consistency, limonene, which I mentioned before, and that makes up 88% to 95% of the oil, depending on the batch. That it really is the highest limonene content of all the essential oils. It's known to be tumor fighting, cancer preventative, and it has phytochemicals in it that protect the DNA and cells from damage. What more could you want, right? I think that's a fabulous endorsement. Take your grapefruit if you possibly can. Okay, so here's a quick reminder. This is the things that I'm taking on a daily basis. My frankincense, and this, I'm interchanging my frankincense with my Copaiba from time to time. I'm taking eucalyptus, especially right now, to support my respiratory health, because we're going into respiratory stress season. I take grapefruit every day. I'm taking my pink pepper and my Siberian Fir. And to my little friend who's drawing on the screen, welcome to our world. And I hope that you will not draw anymore, but if mom and dad are watching, just take a look. You can apply just plain, if you don't have Immortelle, just apply 4 drops of frankincense to each breast twice daily for 30 days. And then you can complete that same detox twice a year. So this detox, the frankincense, the eucalyptus, grapefruit, pink pepper, and Siberian Fir, can be used to replace, right, the Immortelle, in case you don't have your Immortelle. You may have the singles, but you may not have the blend. So take a look at this, take a screenshot of it if you wish, but it's a great thing to include into your daily routine, especially if you're doing it twice a year. Last but not least, let's do one more, a breast detox with frankincense, grapefruit, and pink pepper. I would be using this 4 drops of each with fractionated coconut oil and applying it daily. Another alternative to the other one that I just showed you, or your Immortelle. You do not have to be using these consecutively or on top of each other. Now, what you could do is you could take your frankincense, your grapefruit, and your pink pepper in a capsule and do that for 30 days, also a way for wonderful detoxification. So here's my recommendation over the next 90 days. This is your call to action, folks, right? So you come on every week, you listen to what I have to say, but I would love it if you had a call to action that each and every week you say to yourself, this is what I'm going to be talking to my team about, or these are the products that I'm either going to include in my LRP, or I'm going to try to take them out of my cabinet and put them into good use. So here's our 90-day plan. For month 1, you're going to use your Immortelle and your Abōde cleaning products. In month 2, you're going to use DDR Prime or Prime Oil or capsules. And we didn't really even get into DDR Prime because I know that's an oldie but a goodie, but it's something that I know most of you have in your cabinet somewhere. You're going to use your phytoestrogen caps and your Serenity caps or the blend. In month 3, you're going to use Clary Calm, another oldie but goodie, some Copaiba, some Siberian Fir, Whisper, and the dōTERRA personal care products. So I'm breaking it up for you like this in a 90-day plan, so you're not overwhelmed and thinking, oh my gosh, I have to buy everything at once. Nope, I'm trying to keep it within a reasonable amount for you. And then adding to your collection in the long term, if you are still adding it to your collection, you may have just gotten started. You want to add for general immune support, eucalyptus, lemongrass, pink pepper, and thyme. And so those also can be going into rotation from time to time. And we're always talking about essential oils. If you're not sure how to use those for at the end, check with the person who invited you to this call or whoever, you're a person who maybe enrolled you, right? So take a screenshot of our call to action. And so I'm going to want to know next week who did something from the call to action. Wendy says to tell us that my friend had breast cancer a few years back and she still used the breast detox oil. She absolutely can. She probably needs to dilute because the skin on her chest is going to be, I'm assuming, very thin and fine, especially if she receives some sort of treatment. And then you want to maybe focus underneath the arms for her. And Jenilyn's so happy I tuned into all this. Jenilyn, I'm so happy you're here too. That's really wonderful. We are going to have over the next week, and this is our big announcement, so many new changes. I think you can see how our slides are looking a little bit different. Our Instagram page is going to start updating and all of our YouTube, and we're going to talk about how it's be green, make more green. So if you haven't yet, please follow us on Instagram. We'd love to have you there. This week, especially, we're going to be having some challenges. We're going to be starting a Reels challenge, not for you to make Reels, because I know everybody's not a reel maker, but challenges that you can do every day over the next 30 days to either improve your health or to build your business. So improve your health or to build your business. I think that now that COVID is kind of, I'm hoping that it's winding its way down, at least it is where I am. We're ready to go out, to share more, to talk to people, and to help them to make good decisions about their health. So we're going to be posting on Instagram a challenge. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, we're releasing our new website. There's going to be a free gift on there for you. I hope you're really going to like it. Follow us on YouTube. We've got new videos coming out every single week. The video from today will be available tomorrow on YouTube, so take a look. And finally, on Facebook, we are, as I said, we're always posting on there, trying to keep everything current and making sure you're getting the information you need. Whoops, here we go. First, Instagram, I was clicking away and wasn't really moving the screen at all. Instagram, YouTube, where we've got some great new information, and this is going to be available. This presentation will be available tomorrow. Facebook, if you're not a Facebook person, it's cool. There's other social media where you can catch up with us, or you can find us right here, right? Because you found us here originally. And then finally, thank you for having been here. Have a wonderful week. I'm going to say a fond farewell to everybody who's been on YouTube with us. We're going to catch you next week. We're going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about next week? Let me see if I can check it out. Well, we're going to have new topics coming out every week. So let's see if we can check it out. We're going to be talking about sustainable living. That's a good one. And sustainable living simplified with essential oils. Because sometimes we talk about sustainable living and it has to do with getting really super complicated. And I don't want to get super complicated, but I think that talking about sustainable living can be a great gateway for some of your new friends and followers. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about that next week. Okay. Let's stop the share. Terrific. Thank you everyone for having been here. This was a really wonderful group. And as I said, going into next week, we're going to increase the number of people that can be getting onto these calls. We've kind of capped it at 100 when we were doing all of our, I don't know, renovation and redo and so on. But I think as we go forward, we're going to need more room. And we know we need more room. And that's a good thing. That's a good place to be in. Thank you so much for having been here. For anybody who's on the live, stay tuned. I'm going to be giving away some really cool prizes. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye-bye now.